Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this today because we are diving headfirst into something truly mind-bending. We're stepping onto the battlefield of an intense, no-holds-barred engineering war, happening right now at the absolute limits of road car performance. You know, for decades, the recipe for ultimate speed was relatively simple, right? Build a bigger engine, burn way more fuel, and just hold on for dear life. But as we look at the landscape today in 2026, the fundamental rules of physics are being challenged by a completely different kind of power.
I mean, really think about this for a second. What happens when engineering stops just chasing speed and starts chasing the flat-out impossible? Because that is exactly where we're at. In 2026, we're talking about production hypercars pushing well past the 450 km/h barrier. We are entering this crazy territory where the air itself basically becomes a solid wall, and tires are subjected to forces that, frankly, shouldn't even be possible on a public road.
Okay, let's dive into this. We'll start by looking at chasing impossible speeds, then check in on the combustion loyalists, explore the hybrid middle ground, detail the massive electric onslaught, and finally, look at the ultimate race to 500.
Part 1. Chasing impossible speeds in the 2026 hypercar landscape.
This pursuit of the ultimate top speed has completely evolved from a simple horsepower contest into a full-blown clash of entirely different automotive technologies. Take a look at the current top 10 fastest cars in the world. Notice how fragmented this is? If you focus on the powertrains, you've got ICE sitting right alongside electric and hybrid. For basically the entire history of the automobile, this top 10 would be a monolithic block of screaming gasoline engines, but today, it's a heavily fragmented technological war, and we're going to analyze exactly how this plays out, starting with the old guard. Section 2. The combustion loyalists. The mechanical purists chasing the wind.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the massive contrast in how engineers are attacking this problem. On one side, we have the mechanical purists, the folks who fundamentally believe you need explosions, fire, and traditional brute force. This is the classic combustion approach, right? Massive sensory drama, screaming V8s and V16s, and a relentless focus on extreme lightweight construction to maximize every single horsepower. On the flip side, we have the disruptive new electric approach. Instead of obsessively stripping away weight, they embrace heavy, highly efficient battery packs, using 4-motor systems to generate massive, instantaneous torque. It's just a completely different philosophy of going fast.
So who's flying the flag for the classic approach? Look at these three mechanical titans. The SSC Tuatara and the Hennessey Venom F5 represent the classic American philosophy. Huge twin-turbo V8 power, extremely low weight, and serious aerodynamic efficiency. The Tuatara actually recorded roughly 475 km/h, putting it firmly in the history books, while the Venom F5 is bringing well over 1,000 horsepower, targeting beyond 480. Then, over in Sweden, we've got the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut. It uses a 5.0-liter twin-turbo V8 to produce a staggering 1,600 horsepower, and get this, it relies specifically on E85 fuel to unlock that extreme output. Massive mechanical hearts, every single one of them.
But here's the thing, brute force only gets you so far. 0.278. That is the drag coefficient for the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut. You see, the combustion loyalists aren't just relying on throwing more horsepower at the problem. At speeds nearing 500 km/h, the air is thick, almost like water. To reach their theoretical targets, they have to actively cheat the wind. The Jesko Absolut's body was shaped meticulously to hit this incredibly low 0.278 drag coefficient, so it literally slices through the atmosphere instead of just battering it out of the way.
Moving on to Section 3. The hybrid middle ground, blending the old and the new.
Some legendary manufacturers are realizing, hey, we don't have to choose between the drama of gasoline and the efficiency of electricity. We can build bridge technologies. And these hybrids aren't just about fuel economy, they're completely redefining the driving experience. The McLaren Speedtail hits around 403 km/h, but its main vibe is long-distance luxury, featuring this wild futuristic 3-seat layout with the driver perfectly centered. On the other hand, the Koenigsegg Regera hits around 400 km/h, blending a twin-turbo V8 with electric motors through a unique direct drive system. It actually proves you don't even need a multi-gear transmission for enormous, silky smooth power.
But okay, the absolute peak of this hybrid madness, that belongs to the Bugatti Tourbillon. What's incredible here is that in an era where literally everyone is downsizing their engines for emissions, Bugatti went the absolute opposite direction. They built a massive, naturally aspirated 8.3-liter V16 engine, and then, just to ensure absolute dominance, they bolted on 3 electric motors to assist it.
The specs are just bananas,
an official top speed of 445 kilometers per hour, and 0 to 100 in just 2.0 seconds flat. But the Tourbillon isn't just about spreadsheet numbers. The real magic is how it fuses modern hybrid engineering with absolute old-school mechanical drama. It's heavily focused on craftsmanship, keeping the soul of a classic hypercar alive while using electricity to fill in the performance gaps.
All right, Section 4, the electric onslaught. Enter the disruptors.
Forget bridging the gap. These are the vehicles completely ripping up the performance record books by leveraging instantaneous electric power. We've got the Japanese Aspark Owl, an EV hypercar using extreme lightweight construction to hit roughly 413 kilometers per hour. Then there's the Rimac Nevera out of Croatia. The Nevera hit 412 kilometers per hour at the Poppingerberg track using 4 electric motors to push an absurd 1,914 horsepower and 2,340 newton-meters of torque. And as if that wasn't enough, they made the Nevera R, which dials that brutal electric torque even higher. Because they're electric, maximum torque arrives almost instantly. They literally accelerate like futuristic spacecraft.
If you want the absolute crux of the EV argument, it's summarized perfectly by this number, 1.81. That is the time, in seconds, it takes for the Rimac Nevera to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, 1.81 seconds. That's not just fast, that is violently, terrifyingly quick. It's absolute proof that EVs aren't just competing with combustion machines off the line, they are completely dominating them without having to wait for an engine to build power.
But, combustion loyalists will always argue, sure, EVs are quick off the line, but they lose their breath at the extreme top end. Well, scratch that. Enter 496.22. This is the absolute top speed in kilometers per hour verified at the Papenburg track in Germany in 2025. It belongs to our #1 hypercar.
And the machine that pulled this off? The Yangwang U9 Xtreme from China. It surpassed 308 miles per hour, or 496.22 kilometers per hour. It reportedly pushes around a mind-numbing 3,000 horsepower from 4 electric motors. Sure, it's going to be an extremely rare, limited production run, but the statement it makes, that's permanent. An electric production-based hypercar has actually crossed the 490 km/h barrier and taken the ultimate verified top spot in the 2026 rankings.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 5, the race to 500, the next frontier.
We're literally watching an overarching paradigm shift happen in real time here. Just look at the current gap in recorded, verified speeds. On one side, representing the absolute pinnacle of America's combustion legends, the SSC Tuatara at 475 kilometers per hour. On the other side, China's electric titan, the Yangwang U9 Xtreme, sitting at 496.22. While cars like the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut have a stated target of over 500, when it comes to rubber actually hitting the road and getting an independent recording, this data proves that electric technology has successfully invaded and currently leads the highest level of the top speed battle. The crown has been captured by the battery. So, I'm going to leave you with this final, ridiculously tough question to end our explainer today. Which one are you taking? Do you crave that soulful mechanical drama, the sound and the vibration of a screaming V16 or a twin-turbo V8? Or do you want the pure, silent, undeniable dominance of a 3,000 horsepower electric spaceship? Whatever your preference is, the race to 500 kilometers per hour is only just getting started, and the next record could be even more unbelievable. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.